Order in the court.
I'm doing a verdict watch out of Columbus, Georgia for Kamarie Holland, 5 years old. A missing persons alert was issued in the disappearance of Kamarie Holland. Her mother, Christy Hoskins, had said she had woke up around 6:15 a.m. and this was on Sunday morning, and she said her daughter was not in the home. The door was wide open on Bowman Street in Columbus, Georgia. I don't know if they live there with other people, but her daughter was not in the home, so she called 911. The Columbus police would issue a critically missing alert. I don't know if that's another word for Amber Alert, but they said it was critically missing, which kind of piqued my interest because I really never heard of a alert involving a child critically, unless the child had some kind of ailment or something. But I guess it meant that she was in immediate danger. So they did issue that critical missing alert. I do reside in Columbus, and I wasn't hearing anything on the news about this case. I didn't even hear the word saying that she was abducted, meaning did a stranger come and get her? But I never heard that. Later on, the missing persons alert was canceled. Now, the police arrived to Bamboo Motel on Opelika Road, and that is in Phenix City, Alabama. For those of you who don't know too much about Phenix City and Columbus, Georgia, it's 5 minutes to walk across the bridge. It's the bridge that connects the two cities together. It's 1.5-mile bridge. And I'm saying all this for a reason. Now, apparently, someone gave a tip to the police in the search for Kamarie. The suspect was Jeremy Trayvon Williams. That's who the authorities had been looking for. And by the time they arrived to the Bamboo Motel, he was there with his uncle. Now, the police said that they kind of arrived almost at the same time to this hotel. The workers there at the hotel said that Williams and his uncle had just got there 30 minutes before they arrived. So, somebody knew that they were going to be at this hotel, and the police was right there. They couldn't even say how or who, because again, it's an ongoing investigation. There was also information that Williams had resided in another home in Phenix City at some time. He currently was living in Columbus, I believe on Dozier Street, they said, but he was living in Columbus, Georgia, but staying at a Phenix City hotel, and had access to either it was vacant or it was an abandoned, I don't know, house or apartment, but an abandoned residence that he was at. And unfortunately, they stated that that is where they would find Kamarie's body, in the Phenix City home that he had once lived in. Now, based on what the police witnessed with their very own eyes, they said that she was sexually assaulted and she was strangled as well. And a full autopsy report had already started. So we'll know a little bit later on some more horrible details about that. Now, Jeremy Williams has several past involvements with children in Columbus and Phenix City, where he was charged, but he was acquitted on one of those cases. He also has an ongoing case in Columbus that authorities have not clearly spoke about, but it was abuse of a child. Also, there's information that he was a suspect in a 1-year-old's death in Alaska, but he wasn't charged only because it wasn't enough evidence. So we have a 1-year-old child that may have died at the hands of this man, but it wasn't enough evidence to convict. So this man is basically a predator, and he seems to be preying on small children. And he's not even a registered sex offender, so he was pretty much getting away with a lot of stuff. Now, Alabama had charged William with capital murder, but Georgia already said earlier today that they will be taking over the case because, remember, he lives in Columbus, Georgia, and Kamarie lived in Columbus, Georgia, but she was taken to Phenix City, which is, like I said, it's the borderline. It's a 5-minute borderline. So she was taken there. So Georgia will be taken over the case. And there's actually no bonds for him, so he will not be getting released. This case is going to be either life or possibly the chair for him. And that is really good. They also said that they will be investigating. They are not sure, but they may be other people that may have been involved with Kamarie's murder as well. So there might be more arrests made in the future. Now, you know, the streets have been talking about this horrific crime because it's heartbreaking and it's so close to Christmas. And I'm sure that this little baby was looking forward to it. I mean, she's only 5, so she was probably talking about Santa and all the things she was going to get, but instead she's in some vacant house with this man and who knows who else. I do not personally know this family, but I have spoken to someone who is close to this family, and I pretty much have heard a lot of what they said is pretty much also what people are saying in the streets. I won't be too specific with anything, but it is what it is. All I know is that they say that the father, I believe his name is Kamarie Holland, everyone has such good things to say about him and that he has always been involved in his daughter's life. On the other hand, not too many people have great things to say about the mother, and everyone knows that she did know this man who murdered her baby. She had some type of relationship with him. Was it an intimate relationship or just a platonic relationship? I don't know, but she had some kind of relationship with him, so it wasn't a stranger situation. Kamarie may have known him as well, but I'm not sure to the extent or anything. Now, I did read a Facebook post that I would like to share with you, and just a little bit of it, and I'm going to actually block the woman's name out of the Facebook post, but she was really going ham. You know, she had a lot to say, and I'm going to briefly read just a little bit of it. It says, quote, "Mom is a meth addict. I have known her for 15 plus years. Shaking my fucking head. Grandma is a pillhead. Mom deleted Facebook not knowing that Facebook keeps it up for 30 days, so they'll be able to pull up whatever she's trying to hide. They already have a GoFundMe up, and the baby isn't even buried," unquote. She speaks about her own tragedies in her life, and she doesn't understand how they could be thinking about taking donations when after the death of her son, she couldn't basically even focus. She wasn't thinking about donations and trying to get money. She was grieving over her son. That's basically what she's trying to say. And she also says after 17 years, this woman has been trying to get in touch with her and her teenage daughter, but she wants nothing to do with this woman, and she doesn't even care to want to know even why this woman was getting in touch with her. She says, quote, "She's a horrible fucking human being," unquote. She also writes in the post of how she may have dated this dude, or believes that this may have been her dealer. The post does appear to have a little bit of truth to it, because during the press conference, it was said that Williams may have dabbled a little in selling drugs and using drugs as well. And I did see a whole lot of pictures of Kamarie's mother. You know, she has a OnlyFans site and some other stuff, but you know, hey, I mean, that's her business, but she did try to get rid of everything. I guess, they're going to be investigating everything. So we already know that. So, again, this is just one woman's opinion who knows this family very well, but I am certain that, that there is drug abuse that, was happening. So why did Kamarie die? I mean, what was the reason that she was murdered, that Williams had killed her? This case tragically echoes the case of Shania Davis, and she was only 5 years old. And I actually did that video, and I'll leave it in the description box if anybody might want to check it out. Now, briefly, she was spending time with her mother, who was a drug addict or trying to recover from being a drug addict. And the father of Shania had custody of his daughter. So the father sadly thought that the mother had gotten off drugs and was clean and ready to be a mom. So he gave, his daughter's mother some time to spend with their child that they have together. And she even openly says, after a whole bunch of lying and pulling teeth, it came out. The mother had given her baby to a 25-year-old man at the time named Mario McNeil, and it was to cover a $200 drug debt. All I remember in my mind is of him carrying this baby at a motel to an elevator, like she had just woken up, and he's carrying her to a room where he ultimately did sexually assault her, strangled her as well, and dumped her body in the woods. And I did a story about that. He was sentenced to death. Now the mother, Antoinette Davis, that was her name, she got 17 years. She may be getting out in 2025, 2026, may even be out now with good behavior. I don't know. I haven't really followed her story, but that's a situation that kind of reminds me of it. Of course, I'm going to give an update on Kamarie's story. It's a bad one. I mean, this is really awful. Unfortunately, this beautiful girl was around shady dealings and unsavory people, and she's only 5 and she didn't even get to see, Christmas. It's just terrible. Justice for Kamarie.